Um, I'm going to tell you my story about how I encountered Christ and when I got saved. Um, it was July 30th. And just to give you a little background before it all started, where I was at before I even had my encounter. Um, I was starting my own record label, starting my own studio and everything like that, but it started off very unholy and not even remotely close to Christ. I mean, I was at a point in my life where money was the most important goal. I was at a point where love was definitely not an option. We were into partying. We were into drugs. We were into just all types of adultery. We weren't right with ourselves. We weren't right with God. And I was at the point where I didn't understand why, even though we were making such good music, well, it wasn't good, but it was such, music that was able to get out there in the world. Why weren't we going anywhere? And why all of our opportunities, every door that was open to us, was being shut in our faces? So I got to a point where I just decided, well, this is not right. This is definitely not what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. So I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, where I'm supposed to go, but it's not here. So before I even knew what God had in store for me, before I even knew God, He took me out of that situation and He brought me to Baton Rouge. He told me just to pick up my stuff and just go. So that's how I ended up being in church in Gonzales. My boyfriend at the time, his sister, Michelle, she introduced me to church in Gonzales. She said, you gotta come to church. I said, well, why not? I thought I was so far away from God. I thought I was so far into sin that there was no way of saving me. But I decided, well, might as well take the chance. What do I have to lose? So I went to this church in Gonzales with Michelle. And all through church, I was stiff. I couldn't move. I couldn't walk out if I wanted to. And all I can do is cry. I just cried and cried and cried and cried all through worship. Finally, worship was over. I unstiffened my legs to sit back down. And Pastor Rayborn came up there and he started talking about, can't ever forget the sermon. The sermon was about Abraham and how he had to leave his land by faith, had to go to a different place and leave behind all of the evil and leave behind his everything that he knew. He had to leave behind to follow the will of God. And it touched me so much. I felt that particular teaching was strictly for me, considering the fact that I just left from New Orleans to go to Baton Rouge, that I left everything, my family, my friends, my lifestyle, everything behind. And that's when I decided that was definitely God speaking to me and telling me that this was where I need to be at. And that was my encounter. That's how I got saved.